good governance by bureaucrats across India. Today, on this special series, we have with us a very illustrious IPS officer, Mr. Praveen Sood. A graduate from IIT Delhi, Mr. Sood joined IPS in 1986. His pursuit of knowledge and excellence took him also to IIM Bangalore and Maxwell School of Governance, Syracuse University, New York. An extremely decorated officer, Mr. Praveen Sood is the Director General and Inspector General of Police, Karnataka. Always known as one of the most dynamic and result-oriented IPS officer, he has been honored with a number of awards and accolades. As Commissioner of Police, Bengaluru City, he launched the ambitious Nama 100, an emergency response system for the citizens in distress. He was also instrumental in launching Suraksha app and Pink Hoyasala, managed by all women cops, especially for women and children. It's a great pleasure to have you here, sir. We welcome you and look forward to an insight and perspective. I also take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Navneet Anand, Editor-in-Chief, Bureaucrats India, and founder director of one of the most respected communication consulting firm. A former journalist, Dr. Anand has had vast experience in journalism, research, academic, PR, government, and political communication consulting. I request Dr. Anand to please carry forward the conversation.
Thank you so much, Pragya, and a very, very warm welcome to you, Praveen Sood, sir. Such an honor for Bureaucrats India to have you on this dialogue series. And Pragya has, of course, introduced you, but your profile reads like incredibly amazing and what a delight. And we look forward to have an inciting conversation with you, sir. So I'll begin the questions, if I may say so. And my first, sir, question to you is that, sir, policing has undergone major changes in last, especially 1 decade or so, and the nature of crime too has transformed, posing new challenges to the police force. As an officer with such an incredible record, sir, could you share your views on this? What are some of the significant changes according to you and your views on the emerging scenario? Maybe I'm packing too many questions, but I know that it's very rare that I get an opportunity to speak to someone like you. And therefore, sir, this a question, and you're watching this June 25th edition of Bureaucrats India Dialogue with one of India's most illustrious IPS officers, Shri Praveen Sood, who is the DGP of Karnataka Police. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar. First of all, I would like to thank Bureaucrats India and also Dr. Navneet Anand and Pragya for a very generous introduction, I would say. It's my honor to be interacting with all of you today. Now, the question you have raised first is that, yes, that's true. The policing is changing very fast. In fact, every day passes, the change is even growing faster and faster. The challenge is multifold. One, that the old traditional problems continue to exist. None of the old policing problems have disappeared. But the new problems are occurring every day. The problems which were not envisaged many years back. For example, take the challenge. One example, I would say, for example, cybercrime. Now, we were not bothered about cybercrime till maybe 1 or 2 decades back. But today, cybercrime has become the biggest challenge. Similarly, new problems, social media. Earlier, if my officers were staring at the phone all the time, I would probably rebuke them. कि क्या कर रहे हो भाई? काम करो. हमेशा phone को देखते रहते हो या computer को देखते रहते हो. Today, we realize that most of policing problems are originating from the social media, Twitter, WhatsApps and all. So these telephones, computers have become integral part of the policing, not only for doing day-to-day policing, but also to keep a watch on the society. Cheatings, financial frauds. Of course, I am not mentioning terrorism and Naxalite problem, which were present earlier also, which have got aggravated today. We have to be more and more careful about all these things. But as you mentioned, the domain of policing is expanding very, very fast. And the other challenge which we have today is that the expectations of common man from police are increasing. And I won't hesitate to mention that more and more people think that they come to police for everything. Now, even where the other organs of the government are failing, they come to police for everything. They seek redressal in police. They seek solution in police. And many times we are not capable of doing those kind of things which people expect. So on one hand, problems are increasing, newer problems are coming, public expectations are increasing. On the other hand, our resources are not expanding as they should have been expanding. Of course, I will discuss that during the course of the interview. So, and another challenge is that the judiciary is becoming more and more proactive. I should not be seen as complaining, but the fact is more and more restrictions on the police, more and more guidelines coming for everything that the police does. So the areas which were traditionally thought are the domain of policing are also going into the domain of judiciary. There are commissions, multiple commissions who keep an eye on the police. Earlier, we only complained that, why does magistracy keep such close vision on close oversight on us? Today, there are hundreds of organizations which are keeping oversight on the policing. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying that this should not be done. It should be done because the kind of powers police enjoy, there has to be oversight. But multiple oversights, limited resources, and more problems are really posing big problem for police and for all of us.
Very nicely put, sir. Sir, we have had some experience of working with the police. So we were assisting from Grey Matters Communications, Delhi Police, and also Noida Police during the COVID time. And I realized that the COVID experience, in fact, exposed India to a very pleasant, humane, and compassionate view of the police force. So it is not only danda wielding, baton wielding policemen, but here are policemen who are coming to you with food, with medicines, with all kinds of protections that you needed, all kinds of help that you needed. They were the first responders. Now, how do you see, sir, the wonderful role played by the police as the frontline service provider during those times? Do you think that this also gives the police force across India a new opportunity to demonstrate their resilience, ability to adapt to new realities, and step into a new role with ease when it comes to national interest?
Yes, Dr. Anand. But before I answer that question, I also forgot when I mentioned about judiciary and other commissions, media poses, because you come from media poses one of the biggest challenge for the police force. Because now, sometimes somebody asks me, what do you fear most? I said the newspaper. When I get up and read the newspaper, that is the time when I see, oh, what is written in the newspaper? Or today, I would say, every time I'm watching the TV and there is some breaking news, the heart palpitates faster. Oh, what next breaking news is coming? Because whether we like it or not, our agenda is being set by media because of 24/7 coverage, most of which directly or indirectly is connected with policing. So that is another challenge which has media management and reacting to these breaking stories, whether truth or false or half truths. That has become another challenge for police force, which did not exist about 2 decades back or to this extent. Having said that, now you mentioned about COVID. Yes, COVID was a very difficult time for our country. But I have always believed that the most disastrous things in society can also have constructive outcomes. And I will mention here about the constructive outcomes, because disastrous things we all know, how people died, how our limitations were exposed, how the governance was also put to very tight scrutiny by all of us. But there are many constructive takeaways of this COVID pandemic also. The way police work, the way health authorities work, the way revenue authorities work. Really, it was a golden opportunity for us to showcase very humane side of the police force. Now, I don't want to say that humane side, and it should not be construed that humane side of police came out only during COVID time. The humane side of the police has always been there. I have been in police now for 36 years, and there are thousands of incidents, thousands of stories about the humane side of police. We have all come across, experienced it day in and day out. Unfortunately, such positive stories do not get highlighted. Such positive stories many times do not get eyeballs. Such positive stories do not get TRPs. But COVID time was different. Maybe because there was not much happening elsewhere in the society which could create TRPs and which could invite eyeballs. So the good work done by police, whether it was using police stations at the food distribution centers, or it was how to handle migrants. And you know that migrant problem, especially in Delhi, Mumbai, Telangana, Karnataka, was very, very acute. The progressive states where there are, I won't call the migrant laborers, but I would call the guest laborers who come from the other states, the seriousness of their problems, how we handled it, how we were managing the borders, how we were managing the trains. So all that positive side of the story of positive stories about policing came out, and we got a lot of goodwill. But there is another constructive outcome of this, which I want to mention. There were hundreds of things which we were trying to do for many, many years and which were not happening. And suddenly वो सब चीजें होना शुरू हो गई. One of these things was penetration of technology into policing, day-to-day policing. So many things happening. मैं आपको थोड़े कुछ उदाहरण दूंगा. मेरा ख्याल मैं हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों मिक्स करके बोल सकता हूँ, है कि नहीं?
Ji, and for your Karnataka audience, if you wish, sir, you can also at times speak in Kannada.
So there were so many things which were not happening and which we were on our wish list. और वो सडनली जब कोविड आया तो वो हो गई, क्योंकि एक जरूरत थी, वो हो गई. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, प्रोड्यूसिंग all the accused, and I am talking of the procedures in policing, and especially those procedures which touch the lives of common man. ये production में, whenever we have to produce any accused to the magistrate and then bring him every 15 days before the magistrate for extension of remands, etc., you'll be surprised. This was a golden opportunity. We were saying for years that this should be done through video. Why should we bring them physically to court? We have to spend so much of manpower in escorting them, and then some of them run away, then policemen have to be suspended. All these changes happened during COVID. And today in Karnataka, 100% of the accused are produced when they have to be brought before the court, the magistrate for extension of remand. 100% of it is done through video. All the prisons and courts are connected. Then there were a lot of police officers, our fingerprint experts, our forensic science experts who were called to the courts to give evidence. Today, 100% of our experts give that evidence through video evidence. As me and you are talking, they give their evidence through virtual media. So the kind of manpower we could save, the kind of expenditure we could save, this would not have happened in normal course for another 5-10 years probably, but it happened thanks to COVID, because zarurat thi, koi aur option nahi. Then I will give you another example of, for example, where the public is interested. People come to police for so many services, small services, police verification. मैं देख रहा था कि कर्नाटका में हर साल कम से कम हम 3.5 से 4 लाख पुलिस वेरिफिकेशंस करते हैं. And the procedures were very complicated. पहले आदमी आएगा, फॉर्म लेने आएगा, वो that police verification can be for various things, jobs के लिए, सर्वेंट रख रहे हैं, कहीं अप्रेंटिसशिप करनी है, कहीं वीजा के लिए है, पासपोर्ट के लिए है, दुनिया भर की चीजों के लिए हम पुलिस वेरिफिकेशन करते हैं। पहले क्या प्रोसीजर था, आप आएंगे, फॉर्म भरेंगे, फिर वो बोलेंगे 200 रुपया फीस है, यू विल डिपॉजिट, गो टू द बैंक और टू ट्रेजरी, डिपॉजिट दैट फीस, then you will submit the form, then it will go physically from one office to another office, third office. In between you will visit police station, the citizen will visit the police station 5-6 times, bhai mera kaam hua ki nahi hua, and then one day work will finally happen, and then he will go and collect that certificate. All this is all talk of history now, past. Today I must tell you, in Karnataka all the verifications requests are received online, all documents are loaded online, payments are made online. Then verification, for verification they move from offices to police stations to field online, and when it is ready, the final verification certificate is also given to the person online after signing it digitally. Digital signing has become 100%. So this is one example. And ये तो हो गया कि चलो, now the citizen doesn't have to come to police station to apply and to collect that form, but even then he, in between, he had to come 4-5 times to the police station to find out मेरा काम हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. And you know how the police stations work, कि आज साहब नहीं है, कल आइए, परसों आइए. Now that thing has gone. Now at every stage the person is intimated of the stage that your, just like what happens in passport, your verification request has moved from this office to that office, and then the message goes, it's ready and we will be sending it to you. So I have given one example of police verification, but there are so many citizen centric services which became online. And I would say not only the image makeup of police when they were helping the citizens in various ways, but also procedurally, at least in the southern states where the internet penetration is very high, we have migrated to the ways which have reduced the footfalls, totally avoidable footfalls to police station to great extent. And I always say these are the positive outcomes of COVID period, and policing has improved thanks to COVID period. Of course, there were a lot of other, we had the losses, like we lost 180 policemen. And the other good side, I would say, which is a very unpleasant side, but still I would say a good information or realization, is that COVID exposed that how bad is the general health of an average policeman. We lost 180 policemen in Karnataka. All over the country, we lost thousands of policemen. Now, they were doing a very tough job, but that also exposed how the general health of an average policeman, whether it is Karnataka or Telangana or UP, is very, very fragile thanks to, or not, no thanks to the service conditions in we work with. So this was an eye opener for us and should act as a guidance for future to do better things, bigger things for our policemen. So COVID time had its own plus points, and of course tough times, plus points also, and it was a great learning.
Very nicely put, sir. Certainly, it was painful to see so many innocent lives being snuffed out, and it was certainly very, very painful. And as you said, that this kind of also helped reinforce among people the perception of police कि जब अच्छे काम के लिए भी पुलिस इतनी आगे बढ़ के और लोगों को मदद कर सकती है. Very nicely put, sir. And coming back to, sir, your point that you made about challenge of being on your toes to deal with the kind of media that we see 24/7, proactive, hyperactive at times. I say this at the risk of annoying some of my friends in journalism circle, but I think we are going through a phase which is slightly scary, where to gain eyeballs, you can go to any extent to sensationalize, and that's a challenge. And that is where initiatives like Bureaucrats India come and play a role. As I said, the beginning, as Pragya was saying, Bureaucrats India is an independent initiative designed to bring into public domain stories of good governance, highlight the great work being done, and reinforce the public confidence into the role of bureaucracy, which we all must appreciate. Of course, there are problems, but of course, why not look at the positive side? So, and you're watching today, June 25th, Bureaucrats India Business Dialogue Series with Praveen Sood, IPS, and DGP of Karnataka. Moving ahead, sir, the PwC report once recently said that demographic, social, and technological changes are creating new forms of crime and enabling criminal networks to operate more effectively across national borders. At the same time, tight budgets are limiting the ability of police forces to meet these challenges, which can lead to a loss of confidence of citizens in the fight against crime. Since you have also had an international exposure, and I wanted to tell my esteemed audience that Sir has had, a stint with Mauritius government also. In 1999, he had proceeded to foreign deputation as police advisor to government of Mauritius for 3 years. And he got exposure in European and American police during his stint there. So naturally, you have a global perspective also. And being in Bengaluru, where you are, which is one of the most cosmopolitan cities, how do you view at this situation, sir?
And Abhi, so as you mentioned, cybercrime, I mentioned in the beginning also, cybercrime is going to be our biggest challenge for future. I would say cybercrime is a crime which has no borders, no boundaries. Somebody sitting in Africa can cheat people here, sit in Bangalore. Somebody sitting in any part of the India can siphon money from your bank accounts, can misguide you, lure you, and we are helpless. And cybercrime is not only borderless crime, but also faceless crime, because at the other end, all you know, after you do thorough investigation, also all you know, an IP address, anyone could be sitting behind that computer or that mobile. It's one of the biggest challenge. And the truth is that whatever you do, 95% of the cyber crimes, we will not be able to detect or charge sheet. We may be able to detect, but we will not be able to charge sheet. As I said, it is a faceless, borderless crime. So our whole approach of policing has to change. When the challenge becomes cyber, our traditional ways of policing will not work. Our traditional priorities कि इसको detect करना है और इसको सजा दिलवानी है will not work, because I said my experience shows that not more than 5% of the reported crime, and don't forget that the large number of cyber crime doesn't get reported at all, because individually each crime is very small amount, and sometimes the cost of reporting or cost of detecting may be much more than the loss itself. So large amount of cybercrime doesn't get reported, and what gets reported, we will be very happy if we are able to prosecute 5 to 10% of it. I'm talking of primarily financial cybercrimes. Of course, there are other cybercrimes when somebody is being abused and somebody is being, some disharmony is being created. Those can be charge sheeted almost 90-95%, but not 100% there also. So it's a very, very big challenge. Now, to deal with these challenges, the way we work has to change. जैसे कि अब जैसे ट्रेडिशनल एक ऑफेंस होता है, कोई कहे कि मेरी चोरी हो गई, बट वी विल से आइए आप पुलिस स्टेशन में आइए, कंप्लेंट लिखवाइए, FIR होगी, फिर हम स्पॉट पे जाएंगे, पंचनामा होगा, फिर हम पता करेंगे, इंट्रोगेशन शुरू करेंगे. Now, if you keep working like this in cyber crime, the money is gone. In a few minutes, few hours, the money is gone. So in cyber crime, time is the keyword. You have to act quickly. And more than trying to catch the accused, you have to prevent the loss. Now, that is where we have been largely successful. You know, there is the cyber crime helpline by Government of India, MHA 1930. and we also work on that. So the priority is that every cyber crime should quickly get reported. Quickly is the key word. Get reported to the web portal so that the backend can freeze the amounts in the accounts of the victim or the accounts of the accused who has siphoned that amount. May not be fully, but at least primarily, largely, we can do that, and we can refund that money, get that money back to the victim. The looking for accused and running after him because he could be in any part of the country, he could be in any part of the world, will be very, very counterproductive. We can do it in some cases, but not in every case. So this is one example where I've said the policing has to change, traditional ways have to change. And the second thing you mentioned about the budgets. Yes, budget will always be constraints, and more so in cybercrime. But there also I say that we cannot keep adding manpower to police department indefinitely. What is armed forces? What are armed forces doing today? They have also realized that they cannot keep on adding manpower to Army, Navy, Air Force indefinitely because there is a huge cost associated with that. Similarly, in policing also, we cannot keep adding. You ask any policeman, do you have sufficient men? No one will say, yes, I have sufficient men. But the more proactive view is that, listen, we have to migrate to technology. We have to leverage technology. We have to replace this day-to-day lathi wielding policing by skilled policing using technology. And whatever numbers we have, these are less, but we have to leverage technology in such a way that we can do more work using technology. So similarly, when we talk about budgets, we have to start doing things in different ways so that we spend less. Basically, I keep telling my men and my officers, my colleagues, that very strangely, you will not believe that I tell them, don't work hard. Don't work hard. Because, I mean, there is no point becoming donkeys. Work smartly. And to work smartly, we need to change the ways in which we work. Now you see, for any small thing, there are so many hierarchies. Do we need all those hierarchies? एक एग्जाम्पल लीजिए, एक पुलिस वेरिफिकेशन होती है, एक हेड कांस्टेबल जाके वेरिफिकेशन करता है, उसके बाद सब इंस्पेक्टर उसके ऊपर सिग्नेचर करेगा, इंस्पेक्टर सिग्नेचर करेगा, फिर वो डीएसपी की ऑफिस में जाएगी, फिर वो एसपी के ऑफिस में जाएगी, कहीं कहीं कमिश्नर के ऑफिस में जाएगी. Do we require all these levels? So we have to rationalize all those levels, because not only we spend a lot of money doing this, there is a lot of harassment to a common man because he has to run from desk to desk, what they call as follow the file. अपनी फाइल को पीछा करते रहो कहां से कहां गई है, और हर लेवल पे वैल्यू एडिशन इज मिनिमल, हार्डली एनी वैल्यू एडिशन. और जब कोई गलती भी होती है तो गलती तो पनिश किया जाता है उस पहले फर्स्ट ग्रास रूट लेवल पुलिसमैन को, कांस्टेबल, हेड कांस्टेबल को, की गलती उसने की, क्योंकि बाकी सब ने तो उतना एप्लीकेशन ऑफ माइंड नहीं लगाया है, सिर्फ सिग्नेचर किए. तो वी हैव टू चेंज द वेज वी हैव बीन डूइंग पुलिसिंग. Maybe in my state, I keep telling that one level of supervision is enough. And second level of just having a very cursory supervision. There is no need of 4 or 5 levels of supervision. So this is one example. Similarly, budgeting ke liye, we have one other thing which I keep mentioning to my colleagues here is that we have to do a lot of outsourcing. We cannot keep doing everything ourselves. I keep telling policemen, don't try to do what we are not good at. We are good at policing, let us do policing. अब experts, IT experts भी हम बनने की कोशिश करें, school भी हम चलाएं, hospital भी हम चलाएं. That may work elsewhere, but not in police force, because we are always flooded with problems and we are always deployed to the extent of 80 to 90%. Every day, you know, a new problem comes, the problem doesn't subside, another problem comes. So we have to do a lot of outsourcing, and outsourcing can save a lot of money for police force. I always give example of UP dial 100, and 5-6 साल पहले जब मैंने visit किया, I would say the Lucknow का UP dial 100 is one of the best in this country. I have seen it myself. And the whole thing runs on outsourcing. Policemen, there are only leaders, there are 1 or 2, 3 policemen, but largely it runs by outsourcing. And if we do intelligent outsourcing, we can save a lot of money and we can budget ourselves properly. Finally, something more which I have experimented in Karnataka and which I strongly believe can can take care of our budget problems. We have to start monetizing police assets. And when I'm talking of monetizing police assets, I am talking of whole lot of things which are lying. We have never tried to monetize them. Now, in last 2-3 years, we started disposing of our seized vehicles, our old government vehicles, which were lying and rotting as junk. And now, earlier we used to do it in a very inefficient way कि आसपास ऑक्शन के लिए बुलाया और बोली दी और उसमें बहुत सारा फ्रॉड भी होता था एंड प्राइस भी नहीं मिलता था. Now we have a Government of India portal which is called MSTC portal, MSTC portal. 100% of disposals in this state we do through MSTC portal. पहले जिस चीज को बेचने में ऑक्शन करने में हमें 1 लाख रुपया मिलता था, आज टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू हमें 5 लाख रुपया मिलता है. So we started disposing of the junk. You won't believe it that we collected about 12 crore rupees by just selling our junk over MSTC portal. पहले हमने गाड़ियां बेचना शुरू की. Of course, procedure was followed, but over MSTC. फिर हमने कहा भाई ये टूटी चेयर, टेबल, अलमारियां ये क्यों पड़ी हुई हैं सालों से. एक तो सफाई हो गई डिपार्टमेंट की. कई बार मैं कहता हूं कि मैं तो I am not DGP, I am chief scavenger of this police force. Let us keep cleaning all this garbage which is lying, which gives us a very bad image in the eyes of public also. So we made available lot of space. एक और एग्जांपल दूंगा. हर स्टेट में ये होता है. पुराने पुलिस स्टेशन है, पुराने घर हैं, कोई रह नहीं रहा है, बहुत 100 साल पुराने हैं, पड़े हुए हैं, और कोई जर्नलिस्ट जाता है उसकी फोटो ले लेता है और कहता है देखो पुलिस वाले कैसे मकानों में रह रहे हैं. वेरी वेरी बैड फोटो ऑफ फॉर अस. Earlier we used to demolish. We started demolishing everything in the police department in Karnataka which was not in use. Earlier we used to pay people to demolish them. Then we went to MSTC portal. We start getting paid for demolition. पहले हम PWD को पैसा देते थे. आज MSTC पोर्टल में जो वेंडर हैं, जो ये सब डिमोलिशर्स हैं, वो हमें पैसा देते हैं और इसको डिमोलिश करके जाते हैं. हमारा जो कबाड़ है वो भी निकल जाता है, हमारी जो लैंड है जो ब्लॉक थी वो भी अवेलेबल हो जाती है और हमें रेवेन्यू भी आता है. तो डिमोलिशिंग बिल्डिंग्स थ्रू ऑक्शंस, सेलिंग ऑफ आवर जंक, we generated about 15-20 crore rupees a year. Now this looks a very small thing, but it is just a beginning. There are so many services of policing which can be paid. हम सिक्योरिटी देते हैं लोगों को, why not we should charge? हमारा बैंड्समैन है और अच्छे अच्छे बैंड हैं, why shouldn't we give it to public and charge them? And people are very happy to use police band. हमारे ऑडिटोरियम्स हैं, हमारे हॉल्स हैं, why not? We are not using them all the time. We started renting it to the people and we started generating revenues. We have something which we call Kalyana Mandapa in Karnataka. हॉल होते हैं जहां हमारे कांस्टेबल्स अपने बच्चों की शादी करते हैं. सब्सिडाइज रेट पे हम उनको हॉल बनाए हुए हैं जहां वो अपने बच्चों की शादियां करते हैं या फंक्शंस करते हैं. हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हमारा कल्याण मंडपा है जिसको हम समुदाय भवन कहते हैं हिंदी में. वी स्टार्टेड रेंटिंग इट टू पब्लिक ऑल्सो. ऑफकोर्स हमारे लोगों के लिए सब्सिडाइज रेट पे और पब्लिक के लिए मार्केट रेट से थोड़ा 10-20% कम रेट पे. तो वी कुड जनरेट ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ रेवेन्यू. What I want to say is that we have to start running police department also like a corporate. We have to monetize our services. We have to monetize our assets and bring down the pressure on the government. It will have two benefits. One, we will generate some revenue, not much, but we will generate some revenue. We will free our land, which is occupied by all unwanted things. We will create goodwill with public. We are creating bridges with the public and making things easier for all of us. So these are my views about budgeting, about handling the things differently. Basically, in one word, if you have to ask me, I would say we have to do re-engineering of our procedures. We have to re-engineer our processes. there is lot of inefficiency built in the system. Once we re-engineer our procedures, we have in last 2 years, we have examined every procedure. कि इसमें कोई वैल्यू एडिशन हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. अगर नहीं हो रहा तो इसको प्रोसीजर को चेंज करो. तो मैं तो एक बात का बहुत क्रेडिट लेता हूं कि हमने बहुत सारी री इंजीनियरिंग की है और उससे इनएफिशिएंसीज जाती हैं, उससे एफिशिएंसीज बढ़ती हैं. इवन अमंग द फोर्स इतनी सारी परमिशंस लेनी पड़ती हैं. हर जो हमारा एम्प्लॉई है उसको छोटी छोटी चीज के लिए परमिशन लेनी पड़ती है. वी हैव कन्वर्टेड मेनी परमिशंस इनटू इंटीमेशंस. अरे ये जो परमिशंस है ना, ये इससे ब्यूरोक्रेटिक कॉम्प्लिकेशन ज्यादा आती हैं. एंड इंडिया में मैं कहता हूं कि वेरी ऑफन आई से द प्रोसेस इटसेल्फ इज द हैरेसमेंट. आप जुडिशरी में जाइए, आदमी को सजा मिले ना मिले, लेकिन वो जो प्रोसीजर है उसको झेलता झेलता वही एक बहुत बड़ी सजा उसके लिए बन जाती है. आप गवर्नमेंट में आइए, प्रोसीजर्स इतने कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हैं कि प्रोसेस इटसेल्फ बिकम्स अ पनिशमेंट. तो इन सब प्रोसेसेस को री इंजीनियर करने की जरूरत है, चाहे वो हमारे कांस्टेबल्स के लिए हो, चाहे वो पब्लिक के लिए हो, चाहे हमारी डीलिंग विद पुलिस गवर्नमेंट के लिए हो. तो ये सब करना बहुत जरूरी है.
So that is Mr. Praveen Sood, an IITian graduate. He also went to IIM and Syracuse University, and it is reflected. As they say, I think your background, your upbringing, gets reflected in the way you think and in the way Sir has been bringing about change. It all begins at the top. So we have some very, very critical messages for people in this. Of course, for the skeptic media, here is a model that you may want to cherish. I know it will be difficult for you to write on these, but I think these are great stories. At Bureaucrats India, we do write and celebrate such stories. For general public, Sir has a message that the moment you feel there has been a cyber security or cyber crime, you should immediately report. And I repeat, there is a helpline 1930 that one has to immediately report to. Sir has been talking about rationalizing the system. Sir spoke of how we need to move away from the old era systems where permissions should be reduced to only intimations and so on and so forth. Incredible things, and also for people like us, we get very confident when you say that we respect professionals and expertise. A policeman, I mean, you're good at policing, you're good at nabbing the criminals. Don't get into the space of also managing the social media yourself or the media management yourself, and whole lot of other professional aspects. I come from that background, so I say the example of Kalyan Mandapam, the MSDC auction. बहुत बधाई sir. I think I see Karnataka emerging as a model for many states perhaps to look at and emulate.
और एक बात नवनीत, अगर मैं कहूँ, बहुत सारे लोगों को, पुलिस ऑफिसर्स को भी पता ही नहीं है कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने बहुत सारे स्टेप्स लिए हैं और कुछ स्टेट्स ने भी. जैसे हमने तो 2004 से ये यहाँ रूल है हमारे यहाँ कि जितनी भी हम ट्रैफिक में जैसे फाइन कलेक्शन करते हैं, 50% of it gets plowed back in the development of infrastructure in the police department, traffic police department. मैं आज की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, 2004 से. इसलिए कर्नाटका में we never felt that we were short on budgets. In fact, we were the only states who were lush with the budgets for traffic improvements over the years. अभी जो एक बात गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने की है, अगेन मेनी पुलिस स्टेट पुलिसेस डोंट इवन यूज इट. Every time we does a police verification for passport, a fixed amount is given back to the states. किसी को बहुत लोगों को पता ही नहीं है. That money is supposed to come back to the police department and to be used for technological upgradations. ऐसे बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स हैं जहां गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने कॉर्पोरेटाइजेशन की है कि लेट अस मेक रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग, एंड जिससे कि जैसे हम पासपोर्ट्स का इतना काम करते हैं, हमें इस साल में हमें करीब 30 करोड़ रुपया गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से एज ए बोनस मिला फॉर ऑल द वर्क विच वी हैड डन ओवर द इयर्स फॉर पासपोर्ट वेरिफिकेशंस एंड ऑल. फाइन्स का तो हमेशा मिलता ही था, तो इस तरह से there are lot of things where extra sources of revenue exist. Government of India have done, but we have not availed of it. We need to avail of it. I'm sure आपका program, lot of police officers would also be seeing. So it is a message to them that there are many things like which not everyone is aware of. अब GEM portal तो सभी जानते हैं कि now our procurement, 100% of our procurement is done through GEM portals. 100% of our disposal is done through MSTC. 100% of our police verifications are done through a portal called Seva Sindhu, which we do in Karnataka, and everything is digitally signed. There is no physical contact. So, ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं where money gets plowed back for the improvement of the department. Or let us not only look at the state budgetary provisions and modernization funds, etc. उसके अलावा बहुत सारे sources हैं जहां से पैसा आता है. हाँ, हमें खर्च करने की, उसको सदुपयोग करने की कैपेसिटी होनी चाहिए और एक इच्छा शक्ति होनी चाहिए. पैसे की कभी कोई कमी होगी नहीं, ऐसा मेरा सोचना है.
जी, और सर आपको सुन के ये भी बहुत लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है, मुझे भी समझ में आ रहा है दैट यू ऑल्सो हैव लॉट ऑफ फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक कोई ऐसा तंत्र आपके ऊपर बैठा हुआ है जो दैट विल नॉट अलाउ यू टू इनोवेट. As far as it is transparent and in the interest of the state and the people, I think, so these are remarkable examples of innovations, forward thinking, rationalizing, streamlining and simplifying procedures more than anything else. आपको सर अवार्ड भी मिला उस सेवा सिंधु में, को अवार्ड भी मिला, प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स अवार्ड फॉर एक्सीलेंस on April 21st. Wonderful, sir. We wish we have more police leaders like you in the country. आप सर बेंगलुरु में बैठे हैं. मुझे याद है जब हम when we were growing up, sir, I come from a very aspirational middle class family of Bihar. तो हमारे पास दो ऑप्शन था 12वीं के बाद कि या तो बेंगलोर चले जाओ, वहाँ डोनेशन पे एडमिशन होता है, या दिल्ली जाके IAS IPS बन जाओ. तो पिताजी सर प्रोफेसर थे, उतना पैसा तो था नहीं, तो कुछ हमारे दोस्त चले गए, कोई दावनगिरी, बेंगलोर एटसेट्रा, मैसूर. हम लोग आ गए दिल्ली IAS IPS बनने. Destiny had other things in store for us. And what transformation in perception and the great things that have been done over the years, to emerge what Bangalore is today. Truly cosmopolitan, the Silicon City of India and whatnot. What is Bangalore, sir? Demystify Bangalore for those who may not know Bengaluru. You are also, sir, not from there, but it is your कर्म भूमि. तो सर जरा आपसे ये सुन के अच्छा लगेगा बैंगलोर.
देखिए, बैंगलोर, मैं तो हमेशा जब कोई मेरे से पूछता है कि आर यू अ कन्नडिगा, तो मैं कहता हूँ भाई कर्म भूमि तो के हिसाब से तो कन्नडिगा ही है, क्योंकि जिंदगी के सिर्फ 22 साल मैंने हिमाचल और दिल्ली में बिताए हैं जो इनिशियल एजुकेशन हुई, लेकिन 36 साल उसके बाद कर्नाटका में बिताए हैं. तो मेरे लिए तो ये एक तरह से जन्मभूमि से भी बढ़कर है. It's a beautiful place, thanks to weather, thanks to educational institutions, thanks to IT culture. Of course, not so thanks to the traffic congestion, but traffic is an urban problem, and we can talk about it for hours and hours, but it is a serious issue in Bangalore, as it is in many other cities of India and even the world. But otherwise, it's a great place. The internet penetration is so high. That is one reason why we could be not only Bangalore, but Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai could become advanced states when it came to CCTNS or any technological revolution in police department. We were the leaders because of the very high internet penetrations, very high involvement with the citizens. एक जो हमने कोशिश यहाँ की है कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा हमारे प्रोसीजर्स में ट्रांसपेरेंसी तो लाएं, लेकिन ऑब्जेक्टिविटी भी ले आए, जिससे कि हर सिटीजन को पता हो कि एक जो काम करवाना है उसमें 3-4 स्टेप्स हैं, एंड वी हैव टू फॉलो दीज स्टेप्स, एंड वी हैव स्टार्टेड शेयरिंग ऑल दोज स्टेप्स, ऑल दोज प्रोसीजर्स विद द गवर्नमेंट. सो ये जो मैं आपको कई चीजें बता रहा हूँ वो क्यों इसलिए सक्सेसफुल हो सकी हैं, क्योंकि द इंटरफेस विद सिटीजन इज वेरी गुड एंड सिटीजन्स हैव आल्सो कंट्रीब्यूटेड इमेंसली। क्योंकि क्या होता है कि हमारे जैसे एक कहावत है कि जब तक बच्चा नहीं रोता माँ भी दूध नहीं देती। तो citizens also have been demanding for all these technological changes, technological improvements, and that motivates us to do more and more. That motivates us to bring more and more technology, especially in the interface with citizens. So that has been our all possible because we are in Karnataka, we are in Bangalore. It's a great state, it's a great city, and a wonderful place to work here.
And you have been a commissioner of police of Bangalore, from there to the DGP, sir. How has been the journey, and what are some of the priorities? Because I think comprehending Bangalore is important, but looking at the state, I share a personal experience. I think a couple of years ago, just before the COVID, I have had, due to some business reasons, I had to travel about 600 to 700 kilometers in 2 days. It was maybe more than that. I traveled across, I think, 6 7 districts, and I kept telling the gentleman with me, Mr. Tiwari, that nowhere I could see a police picket stopping our car, even on the highways or in the city, anywhere. So, and I realized, I felt very nice about it, so less intruding police force. I mean, am I right? As a DGP of Karnataka Police, having been in the Bengaluru Commissioner police role, what are some of the good things about Karnataka Police? And what are some of the priorities that you have set? You have already listed many, but in case you want to add a few more things.
See, you are absolutely right. We are trying to make it contact-less policing, less and less contact, चाहे वो रास्ते पे हो, चाहे पुलिस स्टेशन। एक और एग्जांपल मैं आपको देता हूँ before I come to priorities. We created a simple app called E-Lost. E-Lost हमें बनाए हुए 3-4 साल हुए हैं और every year we get about 4 lakh people using this portal E-Lost. E-Lost क्या है? अब इंडिया में क्या है कि कुछ भी आपका खो जाए, जैसे आपका पासपोर्ट खो गया, आपको डुप्लीकेट बनवाना है, एक पुलिस रिपोर्ट लेके आइए। आपका सिम खो गया, डुप्लीकेट लेना है, पुलिस रिपोर्ट लेके आइए। मुझे तो कुछ लोगों ने बताया कि गैस का रेगुलेटर खो जाए तो उसके डुप्लीकेट के लिए भी वो पुलिस रिपोर्ट मांगते हैं। अब वो खो गया है, चोरी नहीं हुआ है। ऐसी 50 चीजें हैं जो खो गई हैं भाई, डुप्लीकेट बनाना है, आप अपना एक एफिडेविट ले लीजिए उससे, लेकिन नहीं, हमारे देश में ऐसा हो गया कि आप हर चीज के लिए पुलिस रिपोर्ट लेके आइए। अच्छा, ये पुलिस रिपोर्ट लेना कोई आसान काम नहीं। ये तो हम सब जानते हैं कि पहले कोई जाएगा पुलिस थाने में तो कहेगा साहब ये मेरा खो गया है। कहाँ खोया, यहाँ क्यों आए, प्रूव करिए यहाँ खोया है, कहाँ खोया है। अब भगवान जाने कहाँ खोया है, तो पुलिस स्टेशन वाला उसको 3-4 पुलिस स्टेशन के चक्कर लगवाता रहेगा, फिर कोई किसी से वो फोन करवाएगा या कुछ लेना देना होगा पैसे का, तब काम बनता है। तो हमने सोचा कि ये इन सब चीजों के लिए आदमी पुलिस स्टेशन में क्यों आए। भाई एक सेल्फ डिक्लेरेशन है, हम इनको ढूंढने तो जा नहीं रहे हैं, एक पुलिस रिकॉर्ड चाहिए। तो हमने ई लॉस्ट ऐप बनाया कि आदमी घर बैठे बैठे, ऑफ कोर्स दीज आर ऑल आधार ऑथेंटिकेटेड और ओटीपी ऑथेंटिकेटेड, अपनी डिक्लेरेशन करे और एक अपनी पुलिस एक्नॉलेजमेंट ले ले विच इज इक्विवेलेंट टू अ पुलिस रिपोर्ट। आप विश्वास नहीं करेंगे, 4 लाख लोग एक साल में इस पोर्टल को यूज करते हैं। इसका मतलब है कि अगर ऑन एन एवरेज अगर आदमी ठीक ठाक एक बार रिपोर्ट देने जाता और एक बार लेने जाता, 2 बार, तो 8 लाख फुटफॉल तो हमने प्रिवेंट कर दिए। लेकिन रियलिटी में वो हर चीज के लिए कम से कम 10 विजिट्स टू पुलिस स्टेशन होते थे। तो हमने 10 20 30 लाख फुटफॉल जो पुलिस स्टेशन में है वो अवॉइड कर दिए। तो जैसे आपने एक बार कहा कि हम बहुत ज्यादा इंट्रूसिव पुलिसिंग में विश्वास नहीं करते कि जगह जगह आदमी को रोक के आप लाइसेंस दिखाओ, आप ये दिखाओ, आप वो दिखाओ। दूसरा ये, हम इसमें विश्वास नहीं करते कि हर आदमी पुलिस स्टेशन चक्कर लगाता रहे। अब जैसे आप एफआईआर भी रजिस्टर करते हैं, हमारे यहाँ सिस्टम है काफी सालों से, अब नहीं, ये कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं कह रहा हूँ मैं डीजी बनने के बाद किया है, कि जैसे ही एफआईआर रजिस्टर हुई हम कहते हैं गारंटी ऑफ सर्विस टू सिटीजन, एक 10 डिजिट कोड उसको चला जाता है उसके मोबाइल पे कि आपकी एफआईआर रजिस्टर हो गई है, आपका ये जीएससी कोड नंबर है, 10 डिजिट नंबर है। और जब वो केस खत्म हो जाता है, सी रिपोर्ट हो गया अनडिटेक्टेड या केस कोर्ट में चला गया, तो उसको ऑटोमेटिकली सिस्टम जनरेटेड एक एसएमएस ट्रिगर हो जाता है कि आपने जो ये जीएससी नंबर दिया था, ये केस चार्जशीट हो गया, इस कोर्ट फलाने कोर्ट में चला गया, और या फिर अनडिटेक्टेड क्लोज हो गया। उससे क्या होता है कि आदमी को, सिटीजन को बार बार पुलिस स्टेशन के चक्कर लगाने की जरूरत नहीं होती। तो ऐसी ऑब्जेक्टिविटी, ट्रांसपेरेंसी और एक कनेक्ट हम पब्लिक के साथ लाने की हमने कोशिश किया। लेकिन आपने मेरे से पूछा प्रायोरिटीज, ना प्रायोरिटीज की बात मैं करूंगा जब मैं डीजी बना। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हमें, मैं तो लोगों को, अपने कोलीग्स को कहता हूं कि आप ये मत सोचिए सारी लाइफ की जब मैं डीजी बनूंगा तब ऐसा करूंगा। आप जहां भी हैं पहले दिन से, जब आप एसपी भी बनते हैं, वी आर ऑल लीडर्स। लोग कहते हैं सीनियर, जब हम सीनियर, हमारे सीनियर्स हम हो जाएंगे तब ये करेंगे। नहीं, जब आप एसपी बने हैं, डीआईजी बने, आईजी बने, यू आर लीडर फ्रॉम द डे वन इफ यू हैव जॉइंड आईएएस और आईपीएस। तो डोंट वेट टू बिकम कमिश्नर ऑफ पुलिस और बिकम डीजी ऑफ पुलिस to do things. We should all keep doing things all our life. But when I became DG, I asked, and not became means that was the time when I could give it shape. But I always used to ask every constable कि आपको क्या चाहिए? और कांस्टेबल ने कहा कि सर, सब कांस्टेबल ने कहा हमें 3 चीजें चाहिए। एक तो we need good houses to stay. That is the first dream of every policeman. I'm saying constable because 90% of police force in every state is constabulary only. So first thing they said, we need good housing. Second thing they said, we need good police stations to work or good working space to work. And third thing they said was we need good training facilities and training institutions. So these 3 became my first priority. हमने एक स्कीम शुरू की थी, पुलिस ग्रह 2020, 2015 में शुरू की थी, जब मैं पुलिस हाउसिंग कॉर्पोरेशन का एमडी था। हमने 11,000 मकान इकट्ठे बनाना शुरू किया और 5 साल में 11,000 मकान हमने बनाए। फिर उसके बाद हमने आजकल पुलिस ग्रह 2025 शुरू किया है, जिसमें अगले 10,000 मकान हम साइमल्टेनियसली बना रहे हैं। हमारा जो सेटिस्फेक्शन रेशो था कांस्टेबलरी पुलिस के लिए मकान की दृष्टि से, दैट वाज अबाउट 46%. About 2 years back, today we are about 61%. And I feel that 70-75% of satisfaction ratio is equal to 100% because 20-25% policemen will never require housing. So housing has been the first priority and government has been very, very supportive. Right now we are working with 1,000 crore rupees construction work for housing. और housing ऐसी होनी चाहिए, पहले हम बहुत अरसे से अपनी कांस्टेबलरी को सिंगल रूम पे घर देते आए। That is not practical. At least you need 2 rooms and you need 2 toilets because you have wife, you may have old parents. India में तो joint family हैं, अभी भी चल रही हैं. You may have children. So good housing was my first priority. Second was good police stations. Now don't think the police station, or you will be surprised as I am talking to you, we are constructing 106 police stations at the same time. पहले हम 2-4 पुलिस स्टेशन कंस्ट्रक्शन करते थे एक साल में। पिछले साल कैबिनेट ने अप्रूवल दिया और मैंने उनको कन्विंस किया, 106 पुलिस स्टेशन हम इकट्ठे बना रहे हैं, करीब करीब 250 करोड़ की कॉस्ट। अब let us not think that this police station is requirement of constable only. It is requirement of public also. अरे when somebody in distress visits a police station, वहां का माहौल अगर डिप्रेसिव होगा तो how will it give confidence to him? He has to have a citizen. देखिए, कोई भी citizen does not really visit police station in good times. Generally, they should visit, but they don't visit. People come to police station when they are in distress. Now, if police stations are working out of huts, police stations are working out of dilapidated buildings, police stations are working when there are no chairs and tables to sit, even for policemen, what hope do we give to that citizen? So, making good police stations is not only a requirement for police staff, but also for the common citizen. So we are doing that. I can proudly say that by 2024, we will be a state where 100% of the police stations run from police buildings. There will be no police stations which will be running out of rented building. There will be no police station which will be running from some other department building. एक कोने में कमरा दे दिया, वहां police station बना दिया. We take pride in that. So that became my second priority. Third priority, basically it's infrastructure. The third part of the first priority is the training institutions. I told government there is no need to keep opening new training schools. Let us give good facilities in the existing training schools. Let us increase the capacity of the training schools. नए ट्रेनिंग स्कूल को बनाने में अगर 200 करोड़ रुपया लगता है, पुराने ट्रेनिंग स्कूल में उतनी कैपेसिटी ऐड करना आप 50 करोड़ में कर सकते हो. सो वी started expanding the capacity of our training schools. So these were the first priority as DG about the infrastructure. Second, I have already mentioned is about outsourcing. Very big way outsourcing. Dial 112 है, जितने भी call takers हैं जिनको हम communication officers कहते हैं, all are outsourced. When I fought with my officers when I was not so senior, I used to say outsource. They said, no, people cannot understand जो problems आती हैं. They cannot react. They will not be sensitive. I am telling you, we have hired young boys and girls aged from 20 to 25 years to man all these calls which come to 112, 112. They are more sensitive than even police officers because they have experienced all the distress in common spaces, in their houses, in their गली में. और ज्यादातर लड़कियां हैं, ज्यादा डिस्ट्रेस कॉल तो महिलाओं से आती है. तो to say that they cannot deal with these issues is wrong. In fact, my experience is that a common young boys and girls are more sensitive when they receive a call from distress, person in distress. So our 112 is totally outsourced. As I said, our IT department is outsourced. We have a lot of outsourcing in our intelligence department. So basically not doing the things which we are not good at doing it. That was my second priority. Third, I have already mentioned is the process re-engineering, which I've mentioned in great detail. And I always tell every department, look into your procedures. अब 50 statements हर महीने मंगवाते हैं, उनकी जरूरत है क्या? मैंने अपने ऑफिस में पूछा, भाई you get these statements every 1 month from all the districts, क्या करते हो इनका? नहीं, अगर नहीं आए तो क्या करते हो? बोलते हम उनको रिमाइंडर भेजते हैं. फिर भी नहीं आए तो क्या करते हो? We issue them memo कि क्यों नहीं आई. अच्छा, आ जाती हैं तो क्या करते हैं? बस फाइल में लगा देते हैं. उसके बाद क्या करते हैं? No answer. So there are hundreds of statements which we keep collecting, which we don't know what to do. We don't know why we are collecting those statements. Because somebody has been doing it for 50 years, we keep doing it. So I have asked my officers and they have done, re-look into your procedures, re-look into all the things which you do. That was my third priority was the process re-engineering. Fourth, most important, citizen should be in the center of all our planning. And citizen को हमने कर्नाटका में यही दिया है कि you don't have to visit police stations for getting at least 20 facilities. All those would be made available to you online. And we are doing it very successfully thanks to the fact that internet penetration is very high in Karnataka. So that has facilitated. We have given, when I talk about 112 also, we have made a promise to the citizens of Karnataka. That promise is called 15 by 15 promise. Ki every call which you make to 112 will be picked up within 15 seconds. And actually, our record is on an average, we are picking up every call in about 3 to 4 seconds. Every place where you are in distress will be visited on an average within 15 minutes in urban areas, within 30 minutes in rural areas, and we are doing much better than that. So this was our promise to our citizens, and this has been my priority because I am of the belief, अब इंडिया में हम कहते हैं कि बर्किंग ऑफ क्राइम इज अ वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम, कि क्राइम रजिस्टर नहीं होता. और मैं तो कहता हूं कि वी कैन फाइट अबाउट इट. भाई somebody will say I had given complaint, police didn't register, police will say he didn't give a complaint, so it is his word against police word. I always say that 112 is the antidote to the burking of crime, because once somebody has made a call to 112, no one can deny it because it is recorded. it is voice recorded, it is entered in computers, there is a record. So no one can say, police can never say, ki, no, you didn't complain, there was no FIR taken. As a result, we are registering many more FIRs than we used to. So 112 is a great enabler for the citizens on an average citizen. So that is our next priority. And the last thing which I would say, there are many, is strengthening of forensic science capabilities. We are probably the first state which has created a new cadre which is called scene of crime officers. I was, as you mentioned, I was in Mauritius from 1999 to 2002, 3 years, and I saw it there. When there is a murder, it is not the policeman who visits the murder spot first. First person to visit the murder spot is, of course, emergency response service 112 person, because the call will always go to 112. So they will cordon off the area with a tape. And second person, and their role ends there. They are not supposed to expect it to do anything. They are not the investigators. The second person to visit that scene of crime is the forensic expert, which is called scene of crime officer. They are the people who are experts in picking up evidence. They are the people who will pick up the blood samples. They will pick up if whether there is any hair sample, whether there is any other evidence, scientific evidence. And once they are done with it, then they hand over the site to police for recording witnesses' statement, for interrogating people, for asking what happened and all. So we are probably the first state, I am glad to announce, to introduce the concept of scene of crime officers. I am of the firm belief that all heinous cases over the years should, the first responder, of course, should be 112, whose role should be only to cordon off the area. And the next responder should be the forensic experts who we call the scene of crime officers. So we have expanded our forensic science laboratories immensely in our state. We have invested about 100 crores only for forensic science laboratories. We have now main laboratory, FSL, and 7 more regional forensic science laboratories. We have stopped that culture of, there is a concept ki chair will teach. आप किसी को भर्ती कीजिए और अगले दिन उसको कुर्सी पे बैठा दीजिए, he will learn everything himself or herself. The problem with this theory is that he learns from his seniors, and his seniors may be doing a lot of many wrong things, and he will also learn wrong things. So we have stopped that practice of chair will teach, कि आप पहले रिक्रूट कीजिए और पहले दिन से उसको कुर्सी पे बैठा दीजिए, एक्सपीरियंस से खुद सीख जाएगा. ये पुराना कंसेप्ट था. Now we send every scientist whom we recruit. We have recruited almost 250 scientists and 300 scene of crime officers. We are sending them to National Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar, जो कि कंट्री में पहली यूनिवर्सिटी है जहां फोरेंसिक साइंस की एक्सपर्ट ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है. So everyone goes there, comes with the basic, they know the basic thing, but they come with the practical thing, and then they go for a field. So these have been my priorities as DG. These have been my priorities all over the years. Some were implemented many years back, some are being implemented. But basically, the priorities are divided into two. One is citizen-centric and other is the constable-centric. क्योंकि citizen की सेवा करने के लिए हम भर्ती हुए, ये तो हम सब कहते हैं. लेकिन if we don't look after our own men, how will they look after citizens? If my own men are always worried and bogged down by their own problems, I cannot expect them to solve the problems of citizens. So I always say, citizens, if you want to do something good for citizens, first do good for your own men. And one thing I will tell you about COVID. हमेशा मैं गवर्नमेंट से झगड़ता रहता था. And I keep fighting for constabulary with the government. I said, इनको ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. And they would say, why police department should be treated differently? Police department is one of the government department. So what we give it to other government departments, same thing will be given to police department. And COVID proved that wrong. I asked them, now COVID is there. Tell me, where are all the departments which you say ki police is one department of among 100 other departments? No, police is a different department. It will always be there with the government when everyone is not there, by compulsion or by choice. जब स्ट्राइक होती है गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज की, तो बड़े बड़े सीनियर ऑफिसर्स के ड्राइवर भी घर पे बैठ जाते हैं. विधानसभा का लिफ्ट ऑपरेटर भी घर पे बैठ जाता है. तो लिफ्ट चलाने के लिए भी पुलिस को बुलाया जाता है. बड़े ऑफिसरों की, नॉन पुलिस ऑफिसर्स की गाड़ी चलाने के लिए पुलिस को बुलाया जाता है, बिकॉज पुलिस नेवर गोज ऑन स्ट्राइक. So I am able to convince the government that police is different. And that is why in Karnataka, we have many police-centric initiatives. You may be knowing it that our policemen are paid 13 months salary, not 12 months salary. For working in 12 months, they are paid 13 months salary. They have a scheme like Arogya Bhagya Yojana. They can walk into any hospital and do cashless treatment. There are so many, and not only policemen. We extend these facilities to their families also, and we extend these facilities to retired police officers also. That is one thing which I say. Bhai, when COVID was there, it was very easy. उनकी families को भी डर लगता था. वो भी कह सकते थे कि तुम छुट्टी लेके घर पे क्यों नहीं बैठ सकते? All the other departments are sitting at home and getting full salaries. You don't sit at home, but why can't you take a leave and sit at home? No, families are our big anchor. Families are our pillar. And therefore, in police, unlike all other departments, all our measures, all our welfare measures extend up to the every family member and also extend to the retired police officers. Our responsibility should not end when they retire, because सारी जिंदगी तो उन्होंने डिपार्टमेंट को दे दी. रिटायर होने के बाद उनको अपनी फैमिली के बारे में सोचने का टाइम मिलता है, जो कि एक अच्छी बात नहीं है, लेकिन दिस इज अ फैक्ट. सो this is my priority is that serve the citizens through serving my own people, which is very, very essential.
Thank you, sir. That is the Director General of Police of Karnataka, Shri Praveen Sood, IPS, for you. And you're watching Bureaucrats India Dialogue with him. And what refreshingly remarkable insights and ideas that we are getting to learn today, sir. And in fact, one of my next questions was, you have already covered on Arogya Bhagya, and how many states have looked at it and replicated it also. And a very, very interesting approach and pragmatic approach that you take, that we serve the citizens by serving our constable first. Sir, now, of course, we have seen a sea change in the approach with your intervention. Is it now, has it begun reflecting in the efficiency of the police? And a related observation and a question, that among others, Karnataka record on containing crime against women has been better as against many states. In fact, an NCRB report in September 2021 corroborates this. So would you like to reflect on this, sir?
Yes. So offenses against women is one of our prime concern always, and we have spent a lot of effort on that. Of course, you mentioned NCRB. Still, I would say once in a while, कोई बड़ी घटना होती है और होती रहेगी. So let us not judge by those incidents. But by and large, we have spent a lot of energies on offenses against women. We have our women force is about 8%, and 8% of the police force is women. But I'm not very happy about it. Government has already declared that we will raise it to 25%. But then that cannot be done overnight. It will be done over the years. So we are recruiting more and more women, not only at constabulary level, at officer level, at sub-inspector level, and even at DSP level. DSP level mein to almost 30 to 40% of the DSPs who are joining, and even sub-inspectors, are women. So that's a very good thing. I am not a very strong supporter personally. I can't say in official capacity, because that's a policy decision, of women police stations. Now, we also have women police stations in every district, but I am of the view that instead of having this policy that only women should look after the problems of women, is a very, very retrograde policy, because that absolves men from looking into the problem of women. I feel that we don't need to only say that women will look after women problem. The men should look after women problem more than even women. So otherwise the men will be totally absolved of their responsibility. So I am not a firm believer of segregation of these responsibilities, and therefore my policy has been, of course, since it's a policy decision, we have all women police stations. I have converted, even in all women police station, there are men also, because there are lot of requirements in women police station also, which can be, for which you require men. Now, I have redefined these all women police stations in a different way. In many states, they are called women police stations because they are totally manned by, or say women by policemen. There are no men there. I say them, they are called women police stations because they look into the crimes exclusively against women and children. But to have only women there is a retrograde step. That is what I feel. And therefore, we have men as well as women. But what instead we have tried to do is that every police station should have at least a small component of women. So have women police in every police station. That is more important. It could be, number could be 3 or 4 or 5, because women in distress cannot be expected to go to district headquarters and give a complaint to all women police station. And at the same time, we should not say that our other police stations, which are largely manned by men, are incapable of handling the problems of women in distress. So we have changed the philosophy, and it has been quite useful. Our women policewomen are participating in all kind of duties, whether it is night round, sentry duty, investigation. Second thing, what we have done is we have involved NGOs in a very big way. Again, their women related problems are very complex, and a lot of these problems can be solved by counseling, not by registering FIRs, not by sending the husband behind the bar. People have to be sent behind the bar when they indulge in some physical crime, but a lot of issues are more of family issues, psychological issues. So we have connected with a lot of NGOs who work with us, not under us, with us. And that is another type of outsourcing, and we have been very successful. We have, as Pragya also mentioned in the beginning, we have pink hoysalas, where a woman feels confident to approach and tell her problem. But in general, we are taking this subject in a very robust way.
That's interesting. In fact, sir, on a lighter note, Honorable Minister Srimati Smriti Iraniji, she had graciously blessed her by her presence on Women's Day last year. And I had a webinar where all women officers were there, and only I was the one who was anchoring. And in the end, she said on a parting note that next time I want to see more men here. And that's the kind of change. So remarkable again insight, sir, because why should only women know what women are facing? I think as a society, as a responsive society, men are equally responsible. We all know, sir, your passion for using technology. You're a technocrat to the core, and especially in traffic management. Now, so share your vision behind replicating the Bangalore model, or Bengaluru model to of traffic management to the whole of Karnataka.
Well, as I said, traffic is a very big problem in Bangalore, and it's a problem in every urban city. Traffic is a very vast subject. I mean, if I start talking about it, I am so passionate about traffic, and I handled it almost for a decade in various capacities. It's a very vast subject. But one thing I must admit, that it's a very intricate science and technical subject, and very few policemen know about traffic management. Traffic, unfortunately, is the most talked about subject, but not so much taught about subject. When we were in academy, traffic was never taught to us. Traffic management was never taught to us. Again, the same theory that when you sit on that chair, you will learn on your own. So that theory has become outdated. It's a very scientific subject. I won't go into detailing, because one thing, traffic is a different thing. Traffic management is a different thing. Traffic is not a police problem. Traffic is a problem of municipal corporation. It's a problem of 13, 14 agencies. When you talk of traffic, at least 13 to 14 agencies have to contribute, sit together, put their heads together and solve the problem. Like our transport corporation, जैसे दिल्ली में DTC है, हमारे यहाँ BMTC है, म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन जैसे दिल्ली में MCD है, यहाँ BBMP है, transmission corporation, electricity, water, water and sewerage corporation, because all these in one or other way contribute to the traffic problems and also can solve the problem. So police is one of the 13, 14 agencies and have a very limited role to play, because police, unless you have roads, good roads, whatever you do, traffic will not move or traffic cannot be regulated. So traffic is a very big subject. Traffic management is a police subject. And when we talk of traffic, that's why when I go to academy also, I say, please try to understand traffic and traffic management as two different entities with some commonality. Traffic management is how police will handle it as and where is basis. Of suppose when I'm made in charge of traffic, I cannot go to chief minister and say, hey, sir, a traffic problem I will solve. You please make 50 flyovers. ये 100 road widen कर दीजिए और ये road अच्छे बना दीजिए. Why, that is a very complicated thing. That is a part of traffic. But traffic management means how you are handling it on as is where is basis. So traffic management requires lot of training, lot of education, which unfortunately many policemen lack. I am glad that now the police academies, whether it is National Police Academy or it is State Police Academies, have started teaching traffic management, which is a subject by itself. For traffic, we need to leverage technology in much, much bigger way. I gave you about 10 examples of technology. If in other policing we can use 10, in traffic we need to use 50. Because we cannot keep putting traffic cops in front of every signal. And ट्रैफिक की अंडरस्टैंडिंग सिर्फ पुलिस में ही कम नहीं है, इवन सिटीजन्स में बहुत कम है, क्योंकि I find the expectation of people are such which have no logic. I headed traffic for many years and people would say, hey, sir, why policemen don't stand at the junctions? Why they let us jump? I tell them, but where there are traffic lights, why should policemen stand there? Why, all of you know that red is stop, green is go. Then why traffic cops should stop you physically and show the hand signal when we have invested on technology? But common man doesn't think like that. Common man says, sir, red means stop if cop is there. Red doesn't mean anything if cop is not there. So, and then people keep saying, why don't you regulate? Why do you enforce? आप fine क्यों लगाते रहते हैं? Regulate क्यों नहीं करते? All over the world, traffic is regulated by technology, not by policemen. Policemen does enforcement, either physically. In modern countries, no one does it physically, they do it electronically. So traffic is a huge subject, but my 2 bits on that is that and I don't mean to say that technology can replace a poor infrastructure. If your infrastructure is poor, any amount of technology will not help us in managing the traffic better. So there are 13, 14 agencies which always need to sit together. Most of the time, these agencies are working at cross purpose. So when you sit together, at least if you don't contribute positive things, you will be able to eliminate that negative things. Because the way roads are dug up, the roads are cut without consulting anyone, without asking anyone, the way roads are made. If traffic people get involved, we will be able to manage this thing better. But my 2 bits are that we need to work together with all other civic agencies. Number 1, as far as management is concerned, we need to leverage technology and make it very, very citizen friendly and make it absolutely transparent and objective. I am saying you know that 3 years back, we increased the fines from 100 to 500 rupees to 1000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. And I was one person who said, listen, merely increasing fines will not change the traffic management unless you leverage technology, you bring transparency, you bring objectivity. Because when the fines were only 50 rupees, 100 rupees, people didn't question. Or you could argue and you could bully and force them to pay. But when the same fine becomes 500, 1,000, 10,000, as a citizen, I have a right to ask for evidence. So When we go to a higher traffic fine regime, we have to make our traffic evidence-based traffic, 100% evidence-based traffic. If we don't make it evidence-based traffic, it will only create more friction, more fist fights, more assault of traffic people, and by traffic people, common men. So we have to make it transparent and evidence-based so that people can be shown proof. If I pay even 1 rupee, I should have a right to ask for proof. So that is the stage which we have to move to. And finally, this ये सड़क पे गाड़ियां रोक के फाइन लगाना, these are very archaic practices. No one in the Western world does it, but the enforcement there is much more strict. Enforcement there is much more in volume, but they do it electronically. So we need to not only connect. I always say हमारे देश को e-governance की जरूरत नहीं है. We have to migrate. E-governance तो बहुत सालों से चल रही है. We have to migrate to C-governance, connected governance. So जब connected governance हो जाएगी, then when the traffic fines can be linked to your insurance, when traffic fines can be linked to your selling of vehicles, when traffic fines can be linked to many things which affect a common man, then the improvement in traffic will happen. All our databases, all over countrywide have to be connected, and they have to be sanitized, because our databases about transport vehicles are highly inaccurate. Highly inaccurate. You all know that transport department में सबका registration hoti hai address ki. When you change your address, you never report to transport department that I have changed the address. When you sell the vehicle, you don't even re-register the vehicle. So our data available with us is highly unsanitized. Unless it is sanitized, all these efforts will not succeed. But it's a huge subject. We can spend whole decade discussing that and executing that.
I have been struggling to give my fine. So one of my colleagues recently went to a court and he said, हमारे मेरा सर एक भांजा आया हुआ था. He is also an IIT and a big officer in Facebook in US, and he drove while going to Agra, and there was a fine. Now I'm chasing the courts and the traffic department ki bhai mere se paisa le lo. Now they are saying ki perhaps it will go, you'll have to go to Agra or somewhere. Now that is bizarre, and what refreshing to hear from you that it is archaic to see policemen waving cars on the road. Make the science technology so robust, and it is only appropriate.
मैं पहले बताता था कि 100 रुपया फाइन करने के लिए, फाइन पे करने के लिए आदमी को 200 रुपए खर्च करने पड़ते हैं. ऐसी सिचुएशन है. The cost of paying 100 rupees is 200 rupees extra, which is absolutely avoidable. Absolutely,
yes, sir. And it is only appropriate, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, watching this June 25th edition of Bureaucrats India Dialogue with Praveen Sood, DGP of Karnataka Police, that sir has been extremely decorated, recipient of many awards. He has been decorated with Chief Minister's Gold Medal for Excellence in Service in 1996. And why I'm referring to this now, because after hearing him, you know why he deserves so many and many more, I'm sure, up his sleeves. Police Medal for Meritorious Service in 2002, President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service in 2011. He's also a recipient of Prince Michael International Road Safety Award in 2006 for his contribution towards road safety and traffic management, and National E-Governance Gold Award for Most Innovative Use of Traffic Management in the year 2011. And I'm sure there are many awards that people are giving you for your innovative thought, out of the box thinking, taking police so close to citizens' heart and responding, and so on and so forth. We are coming towards the end. I know, sir, you have other appointments, but we are tempted to ask more and more. Sir, you have been an astute administrator. When you took over as MD of Karnataka State Police Housing Corporation, the turnover of the company increased by about 80%. 160 crore se sir 282 crore. Now, after hearing you, listening to your thoughts, I know how. So inside the cop that we see, there is also an astute administrator, a financial wizard, so to say. Is it an IIM Syracuse effect, or you are instinctively innovative and keep thinking how to do the best?
Thank you. In fact, अब तो turnover of the corporation करीब करीब 700-800 करोड़ हो गया है साल का. That's a good thing, but nothing big that I did there. Only two basic things I'll tell you. My experience was in management, they teach something called CPM, Critical Path Method Theory. And I tell my policemen and my colleagues also, critical path method is actually taught to civil engineers. कि भाई जो to how to work parallelly. गवर्नमेंट अनफॉर्चुनेटली वर्क सीरियली. एक फाइल एक जगह जाती है, फिर दूसरी जगह जाती है, तीसरी जगह जाती है, 15वीं जगह पहुंचते पहुंचते साल निकल जाता है. इफ वी कुड वर्क पैरेलली, कि जो एक्टिविटीज विच आर नॉट इंटरडिपेंडेंट, दोज कुड बी डन पैरेलली, देन एवरी वर्क कैन बी डन फास्टर. दैट इज CPM theory. Those who have studied management or those who have studied civil engineering, they would know that how important it is for construction, which simply says कि जो critical activity होती है construction में, उसके ऊपर ज्यादा ध्यान दिया जाए और बाकी सब activity parallelly चलती रहे. My point is that this CPM theory, critical path method theory, is not only applicable for construction, but it is applicable to every aspect of life. And those who go through this CPM, they'll be highly efficient in every aspect of life, not only construction, but everything. The second thing which I felt there is that you deal with contractors. And no contractor wants to delay his projects. No contractor wants to, there may be some exceptions, but largely, if you see that the payments to contractors are done promptly, no contractor will delay your project. और वो पेमेंट्स क्यों डिले होती हैं? बिकॉज ऑफ लेवल्स ऑफ मल्टीपल लेवल्स ऑफ सुपरविजन, multiple procedures which are archaic. So if you can tweak all those procedures, rather depend more on third-party assessments and third-party evaluation, payments will be faster. If payments are faster, construction activity will be faster. Today, while I'm talking to you, police department is doing construction worth about 1,000 crores. So we hope to reach our turnover about 1,000 crores in 1 or 2 years. So all that has been possible because, again, process reengineering. Nothing. There is no rocket science behind that. Navneet.
Humble as always, and I'm again tempted to share one experience. So when Bureaucrats India, I saw that the Bureaucrats India handle and we are present on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our Twitter handle is Bureaucrats IND at Bureaucrats IND. So when the DGP Karnataka handle followed us, I wrote saying that kindly connect me to the PS to the DGP so that I can put in a request for an interview. And bang comes the reply within seconds that I am Praveen Sood, and I handle the handle myself. And that was very sweet of you, sir, to have responded. And those in Karnataka, they should know how humble their DGP is. He's like a man next door and always accessible. Now, sir, as we come towards the end, I'm sure there are many who'd like to know the personal side of yours and whatever you wish to share. Of course, I have said it and I'll repeat it. Your profile is so incredibly amazing. I have had friends in the IPS, and perhaps yours is one of the finest, one of the best that I have come across. And so from IIT to IIM Syracuse, and a whole lot of innovative interventions that have resulted in positive outcomes for Karnataka. And I'm sure these are serving an example for the rest of the country. What's the secret of your unrelenting quest for excellence and innovation, sir?
Navneet, there is no secret, but yes, I have few principles which I keep when I go to training academies, whether it is NPA or my own state academy. and my own colleagues, younger colleagues, senior colleagues. Few things I keep telling them. Number one is always keep learning. Learning should not end when you pass out of college or university. In fact, learning every day is a learning. Don't stop learning, and don't stop learning even when you retire, because there is so much to learn. We know very, very little, and there is so much to learn in this world. And now with technology, all that is accessible to all. That is the first thing I keep telling my colleagues. Second thing is keep experimenting. Don't hesitate. Don't get worried or depressed when you don't meet success, because keep trying again and again. I always give an example of lions. The statistics show that in their hunting, when the lions go for hunting, their success rate is only about 25%. 75% of the time they don't succeed. शिकार नहीं मिलता है, पर कोई भी शेर शिकार करना छोड़ता नहीं. इसलिए never stop trying, keep experimenting. मैं एक एग्जांपल दूंगा. मैं 2015 से अपनी स्टेट में कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. जैसे कि हमारे पास पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट, एक सिंपल सी चीज है, हमारे पास 12,000 व्हीकल्स हैं और हर व्हीकल की इंश्योरेंस होती है. स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट है KGID जहाँ इंश्योरेंस होती है. Now these vehicles are all distributed. Every vehicle is bought in different time. So for renewing insurance of 12,000 vehicles, 12,000 times we make files, 12,000 times we make bills, 12,000 times we go to treasury, 12,000 times we make payment to the agency. I said, why? As DG, I shouldn't be able to insure all 12,000 vehicles with one bill, with one date. I'm trying it for 7 years now. It will definitely happen. It didn't happen for 7 years because the other departments were not so technologically advanced, but they are coming up. I keep knocking at their door. I keep telling them, this is just one example, that why should we make 12,000 trips to treasury? Why not one? There is no rocket science in that. But example I'm giving so that I believe that don't give up, never give up. It will happen sooner or later. Third point, which I keep telling the senior officers and everyone, delegate. Don't keep doing everything yourself. Delegate to your colleagues, delegate to your subordinates. And I am of the belief that each of the subordinate, each of the colleague has something extraordinary in him. He may not be good at everything, but recognizing what is good in him, what is his extraordinary quality, is the job of leader, and making best use of it is the job of leader. So when you say delegate, let them do their work, the bottom line is that trust them. Trust them. Don't be suspicious of them. And I always say, everyone, when I start, everyone is good, trustworthy, unless he or she by his own actions or inactions, act of commissions or omissions, prove to be untrustworthy. Each of them is good. Each of them is extraordinary. Each of them is trustworthy. So these are the things I have always felt very strongly about. And this is the advice I give to everyone. And if I have done something good, it has happened because of these personal beliefs. Everyone is capable of delivering. It is the duty of leader to find that and get the best out of it. And finally, as a leader, one should work more than what he expects others to do. If I expect others to work for 8 hours, I should be working for 12 hours. When I say I should be working for 12 hours, not doing what they are supposed to do, not taking the initiative from them and doing it myself, but doing other things which they are not aware of, learning things which we are all not aware of. These have been the mantras in my life, in my career of 36 years. Navneet.
Thank you. That is quite a few skills management tips for many aspiring officers, serving officers, and also people in general. You know, we all can learn so much from you, sir. You sound like a management guru as well, other than a gifted police leader. And last but not the least, sir, about your family.
Well, my wife, Vinita, she is in education space. She again, not teaching or anything, she worked with thousands of schools through a private organization about changing the pedagogy, changing the methodology, how the education, ये जो हम सब तो रट्टे मार मार के और पास हो गए और बन गए, लेकिन टाइम चेंज हो रहा है. अब ये घोटा मार के, रट्टे मार के, बिना कंसेप्ट्स को समझे अगर हम डिग्रीज लेते रहेंगे तो उसका कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. सो she worked in that space to change the methodology of education and pedagogy of teaching. I have two daughters. The elder one is married and incidentally married to a cricketer who plays for Indian test team, Mayank Agarwal. Some of you would know he's a test opener and IPL player. And my younger one is in US. She is an investment banker and working in New York. That's all about my family.
Yes, sir. So I was asking my son, who's a cricket aficionado, and he cleared the CLAT yesterday about Mayank. And because I'm not so much aware, and he spoke very highly about him, a promising player. And Ashita is the name of your daughter. So
Yes,
we read in the newspaper.
Yes.
Wonderful. That's a lovely family, sir. Incidentally, there is and we'll like to request ma'am for her guidance. There is a international conference which is happening. I happen to be in the global advisory body of that. It's a global disruptive literacy conference that is happening in Lucknow in September. And we would like to have her guidance as well. It is about on pedagogy and out of school children and in school children and also the adult learners. Wonderful. Such a delight, Shri Praveen Sood, IPS and DGP of Karnataka, to have you with us. We are immensely grateful and honored with your presence here. Bureaucrats India extends our heartfelt thanks to you and your team who made this possible. On our side, sir, I would like to thank my team, Pragya for that nice introduction, Pooja for the backend support, Vigya for that backend support, Rajiv Roy, who's the editor of Bureaucrats India, Nana Jha, Rakesh Singh, and many others, Ankit, who designed the nice banner, and of course, Neeraj Sahai, who does the writing, and a whole lot of youngsters who are interning with us, watching this today, going to make live tweets. Thanks to all of them. Such a delight to have you, sir. We shall keep coming back to you. And you gave me a clue that we shall have a traffic webinar where you'll be requested to join as a chief guest, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I hope to be in touch with you and seek your guidance. Bureaucrats India is grateful. And thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Navneet. Thanks to you and your whole team. Thank you very much. Namaskar.